The gate 18 is all about patterns. And so let's break it down, because this is a gate that sometimes can be really painful for people. And it's painful for people because we don't understand, first of all, the brilliance of it. And secondly, we don't always understand how it works. So we talked about, both in the gate 32 and the gate 28, both of these gates point from the spleen center towards the root. The gate 18 is the third of those three gates that points from the spleen towards the root. I call those gates the FOMO gates, right? The fear of missing out gates, because oftentimes what happens is we think we don't have enough time, and there's a certain sense of urgency around the energy themes or the archetypes of these three gates, and we pull the trigger too soon. We don't wait for the right timing for these gates to be activated at their highest potential, or the themes of these gates to get activated at their highest potentials. And here's the thing that's so interesting to learn, especially about the gate 18. These are energies that are called projected energies in the chart, meaning these are energies that don't have a lot of access to the throat naturally. They're way, way down at the bottom of the chart. And so anything that's at the bottom of the chart is what we call projected. It means it has to be called out. It has to be recognized or invited to be shared. Now, the gate 18, in its shadow expression, is oftentimes called criticism or judgment. Actually, it's part of a channel that in traditional human design we call the channel of judgment and criticism. Now, if you're not waiting for people to ask you for your intuitive insights that you have, and you have the gate 18 defined in your chart, sometimes it gets misinterpreted. And people start to believe, oh, wow, you're just really critical. Oh, you're just a really judgmental person. And they tune you out, right? Or they push back against you when you share with them your insights. But here's the piece we don't often understand, right? This energy is about correcting patterns. When you have this gate defined, you have a natural intuitive capacity to look at something and go, the pattern is not right here. Something's off. And if we just tweak the pattern this way, we actually can experience greater joy. Here's the irony of this gate 18. This judgment and criticism, as we call it in traditional design, reaches towards the gate 58 in the root, the gate of joy. And we actually get to experience higher states of joy when we correct patterns. Think of this in the context of book writing. I own a publishing company. When we get ready to take a book and send it to the printer, we have people who edit it, first of all, and then we have people who proofread it. And then we have other people read it who've never seen it before, because we need those extra eyes on it to make sure there's not any mistakes. If you're reading a book and there's a lot of typos in it and a lot of mistakes in it, and by the way, every book has at least one, no matter how many people read it. If you have a book that has a lot of mistakes in it, it actually takes away from your joy of reading the book, right? We don't have the same kind of experience with the book. And in fact, we might not even finish reading the book if it has too many mistakes in it. On my team, I have some people in my team, Kristen in particular and Jamie too, who are like laser good at finding mistakes. So I write fast. I'm a manifesting generator. Sometimes I skip a lot of stuff in my writing. So fortunately, I have them to critique, if you will, or edit my work to make sure that it has at least a minimal amount of mistakes in it. So usually they don't miss much. So that pattern breaking energy, that ability to see where do things need to be tweaked so that they can be better, more accurate, more aligned, more perfect, more joyful, that's the gift of the 18. It's part of logical circuit. And what logical circuit teaches us, particularly on that left side of the chart, where it's going through this whole theme that's about mastery, the 58, 18, 48, 16, and we talked about the 48 last week. All of that, those two channels there are all about mastery. And we find that mastery amplifies, it gets expressed in a mature way when we practice and practice and practice, and we have a mentor or a teacher or a guide or somebody who tells us, no, that's not quite right. You need to fix this pattern, or you need to blow over here on this way on your reed when you're learning your clarinet, or you need to take this beautiful piece that you've written and you need to add this piece over here. Or, oh, I'm looking at your accounting. It's not quite right, right? We need people to have a different perspective than our own, and that's all of you with the Gate 18 defined, to help us figure out where are we missing the mark? Where are we not coming closer to the expression of our mastery because we're not seeing where the pattern's not working? It's the gift of the 18 to see where's the pattern not working. Where's the pattern not working? That's your strength. That's your superpower. The challenge is if you don't understand this energy, you don't see that this is your gift, as painful as it can be sometimes. And that means, let me just give you a hint. If you have it defined, get into the habit of saying to people, I have some insights on this. Is it okay if I share it? And if they say no, don't share it because they're not ready to hear it yet. And they're going to take it personally and it's going to end badly. So if they're not ready, don't share it. And that's not on you. It's hard, but that's not on you. It means the person's not ready yet. The big challenge is to not turn it inward against yourself if you have the Gate 18, because the fear or the shadow of the 18, in addition to being perceived as being critical and judgmental, the fear or the shadow of the 18 is that if you work with this energy as part of your life theme, if you've got this colored in your chart, the shadow is when you turn it around against yourself, you're not going to do anything because you're going to be so afraid that you're not going to get it right. Your perfectionism, your need to not have any single mistakes in it will hold you back from sometimes even trying. And when you hold yourself back because you're so afraid that you're not going to get it right, you never give yourself the opportunity to actually experience the pattern, to be able to tweak the pattern because there's no pattern because you didn't do it. So really important to understand that you have to have the courage to try when you have the Gate 18. Even if you don't think you're going to get it right, it's okay. Mastery comes from cycles of repetition and correction. And if you don't participate in the cycles on the front end, if you don't actually do it, you will never be masterful. It'll all just be a theory. So the challenge, again, because this is a center that's all about timing, right? The spleen lets us know from that splenic signal when the timing is right. That splenic pulse for the Gate 18 says, try it. Try it. It's probably not going to be perfect. And it's okay. Do it anyway, because you'll know how to fix it. You'll know what needs to be tweaked. You'll know how you need to adjust your trajectory towards mastery once you do it. And if you don't do it, you'll never know what needs to be tweaked. You'll never know what the next right step is towards mastery because you won't let yourself have that experience and you won't know what the pattern is. And I would lovingly and gently say, be sure if you have this undefined, and even if you have it defined, be open to the possibility that someone could critique your mastery and it's not personal. It's logical. This is a non-emotional circuit here. This logical circuit has no emotional solar plexus in it. It's not emotional. It's simply about correcting patterns. It's like Spock in Star Trek. Okay? It's just logic. And the benefit of having somebody who can really look at your work with fresh eyes and say, hey, have you thought about this? What if you add that and take this away? And oh, this isn't quite clear. The gift of having someone who can really see the heart of your work, the heart of the intention of your work, and can give you the insights to help you tweak it and guide it and adjust the pattern so that you can create something that brings greater joy. Who wouldn't do that? That's the best part, right? So we might all hate editing or corrections or the big red line through whatever it is that we write. It's not always the most pleasant experience, but it's a vital experience. It's important because you're really not here to express yourself in the way that you think you are. You are absolutely here to express yourself, but you're here to express yourself because you are a vehicle for something bigger than yourself. Not more valuable, but sometimes bigger than yourself. And if you're serving that bigger thing, whatever it might be, having the critique to make it even better is a gift. So let yourself have your patterns corrected. Don't take it personally. Just see it as part of the commitment to creating even more joy in the world.